Hey friends, it's Chris, and for this video I want to share 3 very easy beginner level colored pencil tutorials that you guys can follow along with. There's a quick version on my shorts feed. At the same time, this is sort of the longer version of the colored pencil tutorials, and maybe in the coming days I'll also be uploading full length, no voiceover, just sounds of me doing these different pencil sketches. You can finish these colored pencil sketches in not more than 30 minutes, and trust me, the process is very easy. So let's start with the materials first, and then we'll show you how to do these 3 easy landscapes. Let's go to the table now and check it out. Let's hop on to this first of these 3 projects that we have. So this is now going to be a sunset with some clouds there, and I think that sunsets are made even more beautiful with clouds in them. I don't know about you guys, but that's just me. Anyway, I'm starting to draw the clouds outline with a bright orange colored pencil, and then I'm starting to fill the lower portion of each cloud with some sort of warm oranges. I'm sorry if I'm not able to enumerate all the colors that I am using. I think it doesn't matter what colors you're using as long as you know the tints or the different hues that you're using along with the values that comes with it. Anyway, after dropping in that orange, I'm putting in some Tuscan red. I believe that's Tuscan red, and then I'm slapping it with some purple, and then blending that purple with a cool gray color, which now will be the dark top portions of the clouds that we have here. So I'm mixing violet and then some gray and then the Tuscan red once again, and then the orange over and over again. So it's just going to be a repetitive process until I reach a point wherein the edges are kind of smooth and the gradients seem seamless. And I'm not being too fussy about the process that I'm doing. I'm just simply doing this on a sketchbook, so there's no pressure to create a masterpiece on this one. So after layering in those darker tones, I once again hopped on with the lighter tones at the bottom, making sure that the edges are bright yellowish orange and the top portion is the cool gray color. Now I have here now a cloud over another cloud, and I'm following the same process, dropping in some oranges and then some yellows and then darker reds at the top, and then still going layer by layer, and then I just repeat the process until I reach a point wherein I feel confident enough to burnish. And you could see here I'm not being very finicky, I'm just laying down the colors as is. This is one of the different techniques that you could use as basics to learning more about colored pencils. Being able to be patient, to learn how to create gradients, and then using this layering and gradation to your advantage to making your art pieces. This is a good study actually, because I think that layering and learning to create gradients is indeed one of the basics that you have to know when it comes to using colored pencils. So I'm done with the cloud in the foreground, which is going to be warmer, and then I'm once again hopping into the one at the back, and I'm making sure that this one would appear as if it's darker. So I'm once again scribbling in that red and then transitioning it to that purple, and then blending the purple and red together, and then layering in another layer of that dark cool gray. And I love how it looks, because as if I'm picking up the layer underneath then mixing it around like it's batter or paste. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I think of when I'm using wax based pencils. So keeping once again that gradient. One advantage of using wax-based pencils is that it's easy to blend in. It's not very stressful. So right now I'm mapping out where I want my background to be and sort of giving me an idea of what color my background will be so that I can adjust the temperature and the hue of the colors. Now I'm adding in a wispy cloud and on the side using the same colors that I've picked out before, but this time I'm making sure that it's a bit more light and not too heavy. So as you can see here now, it's first pretty gray, but I'm going to warm it up with my oranges and some red. And from this point, you could make out the idea that the light is coming from underneath. That's why the bottom portion of the clouds are glowing, while the top portions are in shadow. So I'm just right about to finish this piece already. I'm just finalizing that wispy cloud, and I'm just adding some stray wisps of those clouds, the ones that are not that dense, and hence you have here now an effect of a gorgeous sunset with some clouds there. I'm going to finalize this now by starting to give some final touches to the wispy clouds. And then I think afterwards I'm going now to burnish the background. Yes, here it is. I'm starting off with a bluish gray first as my base layer, and then at the bottom I'm adding some of the orange where the sun is already setting in, and I'm keeping sure to keep that orange at the bottom portion because once you mix orange and blue sometimes it may look muddy. I'm keeping the colors light and pastel-y at the bottom portion because I want the clouds to be the focal point for this art piece. Very easy, very quick, and I did this one in not more than 30 minutes. I think I only managed to do this in 25 minutes. So as a beginner, I think you would not have any hard time with this art piece. This is now the second one, which is the Aurora Borealis or the Northern Lights. One of my goals in life too is actually to see the Northern Lights from from Finland in Lapland, and I have some travel goals going there someday, but given my busy schedule I think it's still far down the list. So anyway, I'm just having a small snippet of where the Northern Lights are, and in this junction you will notice that it gets worse before it gets better. First off, I mapped out where the ribbons of the lights will be with green, and then I'm just creating spires pointing upwards with different blue tones and green tones, just hoping to make it look good. I'm adding in a red at the tip of it, but then I realize I don't think it'll work well with the color scheme. So I'm blending it out with this light blue, and it has a nice tinge to it. And towards the end, when I'm about to finish this art piece, I don't think the red made much difference because as you could see here right now, I'm choosing a bolder blue color for the ribbons of the Northern Lights. And then once again, I'm reinforcing the edges with a green colored pencil. And right now I just realized I think I'm using here a polychromos rather than a Prism Premiere. Okay, let's be honest. It looks a bit sketchy right now, and it's not the best looking art piece, but trust the process, guys. It gets worse before it gets better. Now, I'm already trying to clean and burnish using my white, and is if you could see there, I'm trying to make the most out of this white pencil by using a pencil extender. If you really want to maximize your colored pencils, guys, you really have to pick one up of these pencil extenders. They're cheap in the dollar store. You can buy branded ones from their Benguet. Doesn't really matter as long as you can make the most out of your remaining short pencils. Anyways, Once again, I'm dipping into the dark colors just to reinforce and reiterate the ribbons at the outer edge, and then the ones in the closer to the viewer with maintaining that lighter color. I'm now drawing in and mapping out the dark background. I use there a black, I guess, but later on I'll be changing that a bit. Now, I'm once again still varying the colors of the ribbons of the Northern Lights. I really want to tinker with it and really make it look multidimensional and complex. And as you could see here now, I'm starting to put in some blue hue to the night sky just to tie it in with the northern lights, and then I'll be burnishing the background of the night sky using some black. And then later on, it felt like it was too flat, so I also incorporated and layered an indanthrone blue over this black one. You know what? For having an experience of using colored pencils for around a year or two already, I still have to figure out a lot of it. And I guess that the quote unquote professional techniques that I have been incorporating gets lost when I really want to either make the art piece quickly or just when I'm having fun with it. Um, in no way, shape, or form, this is how you create professional level of artworks using colored pencils, but it's just your way of exploring the medium, and I think that is a very important thing to do. So the sloppy background that was just scribbled on now, I'm burnishing over it a midnight purple blue color. I think this is Indanthrone blue. Yeah, I guess it is Indanthrone blue by Prisma Premiere. So if you could see, it definitely cleared out the sloppiness that was there originally from just sketching the strips and ribbons of the Northern Lights, and I'm incorporating some of that dark colors to the ones to the back just to highlight the dimensions of these ribbons of the Northern Lights. At this juncture, I'm just finalizing it by making sure that there's the beautiful gradation from blue to green. And then I will be using my white jelly roll pen to dot in some stars. It felt a little bland at the beginning, so adding those stars definitely made this project look a bit more complete. All right, here is the last one, which is a basic galaxy. I've seen a lot of variations and interpretations of how to draw galaxies. I can link on the description eventually some of the videos of YouTubers that I have learned from in how to draw galaxies. But this time, I am basing this one from Cynics, if I'm not mistaken, art wherein he just showed how to create galaxies by starting off with a white strip and then adding some different dimensions of complementary colors around the white strip until you reach a dark color. So you could see here now, the basic colors are there, and I've laid them down to a certain random thunderbolt like shape, and I'm just going to build around it these different colors. So you could use the Purple's process red is the bright red color that's there, but eventually it'll fade over time. It's just the nature of that color. So once I've mapped out how the colors will be, I'm now starting to add some white, and I'm pressing on the paper really heavily. Like I took several breaks in between just to stretch out my wrist, and even until now, 2 days after accomplishing this page, my wrist is still tired from all of these burnishing and pressing hard on the paper. But it's part of the process, and I'm happy with the result of all of these ones after that. All right, so lay down the process red, and then I'm blending out the edges of that process red with a purple blue color. You could see here now I'm letting it overlap, and on the borders of the two color where the two colors meet, I am also pressing hard and going into small circular motions just to blend together these two colors and try to drag out the process red outside of where I initially laid it for a more seamless finish. So I'm just going at this bit by bit, being patient with it, at the same time still trying to zen out. While I was working on this piece, I was actually listening to Taylor Swift's Folklore album, and it was pretty relaxing and enjoyable. And the stories that were told through her songs, definitely a masterpiece. So, going back to the drawing, as you know, I am a Swiftie. So here you could see me now blending outward the process red towards the violet that I placed, and you see here now that it is a bit more seamless. So I'm adding in now some blues around that violet so that it has a better transition towards the black one. And if you're more patient, you could actually add more transition colors rather than how harshly I did mine. You can use as many in between colors as you want, as long as you just get the point of the art piece across. So I'm going back once again, blending that harsh edge of the purple and the blue, and then bringing out still the process red here in this art piece. You see here now that there are some wax blooms and some points of the art piece we're in. There's speckles of shinier bits, and that's where I press too hard. And I'm not worrying about that. It's in the sketchbook and it will not be displayed outside, so I'm at peace with having some wax blooms there on my art piece. So now I'm blending in with the black, and it will look harsh right now. And that's okay, because later on we will go back again to the different colors just so that we can blend and soften these edges up. So it's just a process of repetition, guys, when drawing galaxies. Start from white, find different bright and bold colors so that it has a nice transition going into black. And if you do that process, you'll end up with something that looks like this one. I'm just finessing now the different edges. And then, after a bit more smearing and blending some edges and extending the cloud of processed red outside, just to hint of some other clouds outside of the bright spot of the galaxy, I will be once again adding some dots that will signify or give us an impression of stars. Oh yeah, I'm reinforcing first that white before I move on to the stars. So here I went a bit haywire with adding the stars, but I'm okay with that. Again, it's in a sketchbook, doesn't have to be astronomically accurate. So with that being said, time to peel off the tape. And the looking at the crisp edges, it's very satisfying. And that's easy skies. Okay, those are 3 easy skies that you can absolutely do yourself. So yeah, that's it. That's the video. I hope that this video can be your jumping off point to doing better art and start your colored pencil journey. And you know what, guys? We aim for progress, not perfection. Let's just keep learning what we can from the different techniques that I just showed and demonstrated, and maybe sometime we can also improve our artworks. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you have a great day, week, month, year. I wish you all the love, and as always, peace.